Meditation is an essential step to develop on the path to enlightenment. Even in our daily lives, we can see that with good concentration, we accomplish much more work of better quality. Without a stable mind, we're like a candle sitting in the wind. We're vulnerable to negative influences and don't have much power to progress on a spiritual path. All Buddhist masters have relied on meditation to gain realizations. And if we look at the benefits, it's easy to see why. We feel more happy, balanced, and focused. And we experience a sense of inner peace. But meditation is much more than a way to relax and feel happy. It's a proven method for us to experience the true nature of reality, the true nature of our minds.
The beneficial results of any positive action that we do can be vast or limited depending on our motivation. And this is just as true of meditation as it is of any other spiritual activity that we undertake. If, for example, our motivation focuses primarily on our own concerns and needs in a self-centered kind of way, then the positive results of this will be very limited. If, on the other hand, we focus more on becoming better persons, able to bring peace and happiness and harmony to those around us, then the beneficial results of this kind of meditation will be very vast indeed. Therefore, at the beginning of this second program in our series, How to Meditate, in which you'll be learning the skills of meditation, it's especially important to generate a positive and altruistic motivation, wishing to become a better person in order to be able to bring well-being, peace, and happiness to those around you.
So when we speak about meditation, what do we mean by meditation? Meditation is a discipline where you cultivate certain familiarity with the chosen object of meditation. Generally, the problem is that in our normal day-to-day life, in our unreflective states of mind, generally we let ourselves to be under the control and domination of our mind, and our mind comes under the domination of afflictive emotions and thoughts. And because of this, then it leads to influencing our states of mind on the whole to be overwhelmed by destructive and negative emotions and thoughts, which then perpetuates the whole cycle of problems, confusion, suffering, and so on. So what are we seeking in our spiritual practice is to try to reverse that cycle so that gradually we will be in a position to take charge of our mind and prevent the mind from coming under the domination and influence of our negative impulses and thoughts. So the way in which we do this is to engage in a constant discipline of cultivation of this familiarity with the chosen object, so that we will be able to gain a certain stability of mind where we have the capacity to place our mind and allow it to abide single-pointedly with a degree of stability upon a certain chosen object. And here, when we speak about chosen object, we are, of course, talking about a positive object upon which we direct our thoughts and then cultivate familiarity with it, so that in this way, gradually, we'll be able to reverse the cycle. And this is the actual meaning and purpose of meditation in the Buddhist context. Therefore, we observe that the process of change that takes place within us is gradual. Similarly, when we are trying to dispel certain states of confusion or misunderstanding or misperceptions with regard to reality. Again, that sort of process of illumination, the process of dispelling, comes through in a gradual way. Again, we can observe from our own personal experience. So in the actual process of meditation, there are principally two approaches. One is the analytic meditation, the other one is placement meditation or absorptive meditation. So in a sense, we are all familiar with the practices of analytic meditation and absorptive meditation. So what, as spiritual practitioners, what we are trying to do is to apply this very mechanism which we are all naturally familiar with onto a completely new area in a realm where we do not cultivate such familiarity, the realm of spiritual practice, the realm of enhancing positive qualities within us.
To have a mind where you can control your thought and your emotion is incredible. Without speaking about getting spiritual realization, just to be able to say stop to the thought when you want, to say stop to the emotion when you want, to have that capacity to be master of your own mind, to be able to say, oh, these thoughts stop, these emotions stop, now I have enough of you. And to be, whenever you want, you can stay still, So to have this capacity is an incredible, peace of mind, an incredible advantage, Suddenly you become master of your own mind. If you want to develop any qualities of mind, you need some mindfulness, some continuity in what meditation you do, For example, you meditate on love. If your mind of meditating on love gets constantly interrupted by other thoughts, there's no way that you will have the ability to develop a strong love. Same thing if you meditate about the nature of reality, how things really exist. If you have this inquiring mind which follows a stream of thought and wants to reach a conclusion and stay on it, you have to have had a concentrated mind which is able to follow the analysis without being distracted. And once you reach a conclusion, to look at it and see what it implies. You must be able to stay on the conclusion of your analysis and see what it implies, how it changes your whole worldview, based on that conclusion you have reached. So in order for that to function, again, you need to have a calm mind. If you have more, we have control over our mind. What happens is that instead of going constantly up and down like a yo-yo, being overly excited when something good happens and completely depressed when things go wrong, our usual mind, So with concentration, your mind becomes much more even. That evenness of mind actually is a type of joy, a type of peace, which is so pleasant, much more pleasant actually than even the excitement of pleasure. To have this still inside is much more pleasant than having good news and good things happening out there. With time, we see that what we call pleasure, excitement, actually is a form of suffering. It's not real happiness, it's excitement, and it's like boiling water. There's no peace, no serenity in what we call pleasure. You know? But this we see by practicing. So that's why I think effort put into concentration, into developing calm abiding, I think is very important. And we can do that in everyday life. It doesn't need necessarily to go into retreat to do that. You know, you just know how to go about it, and you have to know how to integrate it into your everyday life. In order to develop calm abiding, there are certain conditions, which help. So all these conditions we can gather in our everyday life. We don't need necessarily to go to a complete isolated place. It just means having little desire, be content with one's life situation, and have a little bit of peaceful environment. So even though one might have a family life, still we can wake up an earlier before everybody else and do some calm abiding then, or at the evening when everybody's at bed, or when the children are at school, or something like that. One can find a place, a time in a day, if one wants it, for a peaceful meditation. So the first is to have, wishing to do the meditation, by seeing its advantage, then developing the determination, I'm going to do it, and for such amount of time I'm not going to lose the object, and then is to develop the mindfulness of holding the object without losing it, and once you're able to do that, then you use introspection to check the quality of your concentration, and then to make it more precise. If you're prone to dullness, then you hold the object more intensely. If you have too much excitement, you lose, you relax it to be the grip on your object, and like that, slowly you find the middle way, and you're able to hold on to it. So that's a little bit the process, how one goes about it. And by doing that, one goes through 9 stages. Just in brief, I will go a little bit over that. So when one starts meditating on calm abiding and sits down, and say, okay, I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes, for 10 minutes, I will hold this Buddha image or watching the breath, So at the first stage, one said, wow, what a mess, One realized that one hardly ever find the object, During the whole session, I'm supposed to watch my breath. And the mind goes all over the place, So just from time to time, actually, you remember you're supposed to watch the breath. But your mind, most of the time, is going all over the place. So this is the first stage of meditating on calm abiding. Is that, it's called placing the mind. It's actually trying to bring the mind onto the object in the first place. So the whole session is spent bringing the mind on the object, because most of the time it's away. So then the second stage is called placement with continuity. So there one is able to bring the mind on the object and stay it for a little while before losing it again. Right? So there is a continuity. Before there was no continuity at all. You just bring it there, poof, it goes off. You bring it there, it goes off. Here, there is a continuity. Then, the third stage is called patch-like placement. So there, at the third stage, you're able to stay on the object for quite a while, You stay on the object, and from time to time you lose it. But then, as soon as you lose it, you are aware that you're losing it, and you're able to bring the mind back. And then the fourth stage is called close placement. So at the fourth stage, from the beginning to the end of your session, you don't lose the object at all. During the whole session, you are able to hold on to the object. Right? There still is distraction and dullness, but one part of your mind never loses the object anymore. And then the fifth stage is called controlling. So because at the fourth level, you are able to stay for the whole session on the object, you decided. By familiarizing yourself with that, you reach a state of inner peace you never experienced before. Suddenly, it's like your mind was always like boiling water, and suddenly the boiling water has subsided, and you find that your mind inside experience a kind of tranquility that you never had before, and you realize, wow, that's quite pleasant. The difference between the fifth and the fourth is that the fifth, there's no more gross laxity and gross excitement. So the gross aspect of this disturbance has subsided. You still have subtle dullness and subtle excitement, but not anymore the gross aspect of it. And then the sixth is called pacifying. It's very difficult to recognize because the object is there, it's stable, and it's clear. What is missing is the intensity of holding onto the object. So in general, when one reaches that state, it's better to lean towards the side of subtle excitement than to lean towards the side of subtle laxity, because subtle excitement is easy to recognize. At the seventh stage, you can stay on the object, boom, 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 you sit there, you stay on the object, and from time to time you have to check whether excitement, laxity has come about. But the main bulk of your sitting, you're completely there on the object. The excitement and dullness is not so strong anymore, It doesn't happen often, and even if it arises, you just need to poof, 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 and the thought, they stop. The emotion, they stop. It's a process from going from your ordinary mind, which has this thought and things like that, to go into your mind of calm abiding. So it's like entering into a tunnel or entering into something. So you focus your mind on the object and you go to a certain stage to go into that mind of calm abiding. And then the ninth stage is called placement with equanimity. So there's no more effort. As soon as you sit down, you're so familiarized with that state of meditation. You just sit down and you're in that state, for the whole session. No matter how long, you can stay on the object without any excitement or any dullness. So that's a fantastic state of mind. This is the ninth stage of calm abiding. It's not the fully qualified calm abiding. Then you have to cultivate that for a certain period of time. And then there's something which is, if you cultivate that, there's a transformation of your body and mind happening. There's a kind of physical bliss which arises and a mental bliss. And this physical and mental bliss give rise to a special physical suppleness or pliancy or lightness about your body and a lightness about your mind. A sharpness, a suppleness about the mind, a pliancy where you can apply your mind for anything virtuous you want, whenever you want. The mind has always great enthusiasm, You never lose enthusiasm for doing something positive, So when this process has happened, this physical and mental bliss has arisen, and then the physical suppleness and mental suppleness has arisen, and gets stabilized, then this is called calm abiding. It's a very clear path. It's very well put down, and so you know exactly where you are, what's your problem, and how to face it, to go to the next stage. So this you find, in the Lamrim tradition, in the section on calm abiding, you have an explanation in detail on that, So, good luck.
Why I meditate is because I want to be happy. Right? I think most people want to be happy. So, meditation is definitely, I think, the richest experience that I've had. And it comes from inside. I don't have to manipulate the externals. I don't have to do anything to get it. It's just a matter of my having kind of the discipline of mind to sit down. Normally I meditate twice a day, at least in the morning when I wake up, kind of when I'm still kind of just to get my frame of mind, my space in myself right. It's like I know that I'm already whole, you know, that I already have everything. It's all right here, and so therefore I can like go out in the world and, you know, be there for other people. By meditating, I feel, because of this heightened awareness, that I can almost sense my, if something's, you know, my own thoughts, like if I'm having negative thoughts about someone or kind of my own delusions, I can see them, you know, it's like, oh right, there's my delusion, and there's like this separation sometimes between the thought and kind of my awareness, watching the thoughts coming, you know, and it's kind of, you know, like, it's like a dream, you know, or watching my own hallucination, you know, there's just some sort of space between them where I'm not really identifying with everything. How that relates to my morality, it's like keeping a check on my actions, you know, my thoughts, you know, my words. If something's happening, I'm not like just, you know, jumping out and saying, reacting with harsh words. If I keep that, you know, like very spacious awareness, you know, it's like, this is all me, and why would I want to have these ugly thoughts or, you know, towards, you know, these kind people around me.
So this perfect meditation involves concentration. And concentration is a very elusive thing, I have found. It's very funny because you think that you can just go and you can set the mind, especially in a quiet environment. You're not going to have the outside influences. And you'll be able to get to a very concentrated state very quickly. Well, that may be true at certain times, but I'll tell you, most of the time the mind is wandering. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of time to be able to control it. I found during retreat you get a little taste of how things really do exist. And once you get that little taste, you become very hungry. You want to repeat that experience. So meditation is vital for that, because you want to keep bringing the mind back to that little taste you had. We have the fortunate circumstances to receive the Dharma teachings in this life, to meet these precious lamas who are spreading the truth, and that we can realize this truth. It's not just for lamas or teachers or long-term meditators. I mean, the common, everyday person, the business person, the housewife, everybody can realize the ultimate nature. And we must do it, because we have this human rebirth. We have a very short time. We have this flash of lightning in order to do it. And we can't waste our lives drowning in alcohol, drowning in drugs. We have to do it with positive actions. We have to use meditation to calm the mind. We have to use meditation to understand the way things really exist. And we have to use meditation to achieve that goal in order to help other people. Without meditation, there's no way that you can develop the habit of seeing that everything is a projection. Meditation is vital. It's essential. It's sort of like the water, it's the air in your life.